I am a Vietnam era veteran with a story to tell. In the late 1960s, I joined the United States Army and I shipped out to the Far East on what I thought at the time was a noble mission. I understood politics probably more than my peers did at that time, a couple of years out of high school. And I understood the cause of freedom and liberty, and I was familiar with our Constitution. And I was a God-fearing man, and I decided that going to the Far East to defend someone else's liberty and freedom was a very noble thing to do. I went over there with much pride, much hope that I would be able to contribute to the cause of freedom and liberty. I truly felt like I was on a mission from God, because I believe in the domino effect. If the United States doesn't defend liberty and freedom every chance that it gets, countries will start to fall to tyrannical rule, and there's a possibility that down the road, somewhere in the future, the world could be overcome by evil and tyrants, and I don't want that to happen. Anything I could do to prevent that from happening, I would happily do. So I went peacefully. I went with good feelings and feeling like I was on a real mission from God. Little did I know that when I got out of the Army and came back to my small hometown, where people really didn't understand, and a lot of the young people there were involved in the popular anti-war movement of the time, if you will. That was a politically unpopular war, and people didn't understand what it was for, like I did. And I actually came back to my small town expecting not a hero's welcome by any stretch of the term, but I was expecting to be welcomed back, to be maybe thanked for my service, just made to feel appreciated and maybe given a little respect because I served my country. So I came back to my small town in my Class A uniform, which is as dressy a uniform as a young buck sergeant gets. I proudly walked up and down the main street of my hometown and got something that I didn't expect, and that was a lot of disrespect. People jeered at me and catcalled at me and spit in my direction, and I even heard the infamous words "baby killer" shouted at me a couple of times, and that really hurt. I didn't kill any babies. I followed orders. I was a good soldier. I felt like I was serving a noble cause, but I didn't kill any babies. I didn't raid villages and kill women and children. It just didn't happen in the area I was in, at least. I wasn't a part of that. But can you imagine the immediate hurt I felt walking into the situation, thinking I was going to be welcomed home and shown a little bit of respect because I'd served my country, but instead I was spat upon and called names, and it was a painful experience. Over the years I've tried to put it in the back of my mind and not think about it, because it's painful when I think about it. I've managed to live my life without the pain just by forcing myself not to think about it. One day recently, I got hooked up with a young lady who is a barber and a beautician, and she offered to cut my hair. She had found out that I was a veteran, and I said, okay, that's cool. she doesn't harbor any resentment, so she's acknowledging that I'm a veteran. I got to get my hair cut, got to get a shave, so give her a try. And the rest, as they say, is history. I sat down in this young woman's chair, and the feeling of being welcome there was instantaneous. I mean, she has military people in her background, in her family background. And she has talked to them, and she knows where they've been, what they've been through. And for the first time in my life, I've talked to someone who cares. And this girl actually, she gets it. She understands what I've been through. She understands what kind of treatment and care it takes to make someone feel better about themselves after they've been through an experience like I was through. And it was just fabulous. It was just wonderful. I told her, you know, is there any way in the future that I can get you to cut my hair and give me a shave or a trim or whatever I need? Again, because you've done me so much good. You've done me more good than a psychiatrist could even, because you understand and you sympathize and you get it, and you love veterans and you love the mission of our military, and it was just a wonderful thing to hear and experience. And she said, yeah, that can happen. And then the next time I bumped into her, she had already come up with this idea where she wanted to go beyond just caring about veterans. She actually wanted to reach out to veterans and draw them in and start an organization where people can pay for sponsorships. People who care and people who want to give back and people who want to show veterans that they care can actually buy sponsorships. For individual veterans or groups of veterans, for twice yearly or quarterly or monthly or weekly, however they want to set it up, to care for a veteran. And she told me that, well, I've got this idea where I want to have veterans that are sponsored, and they will come in and they will get free or low cost, depending on how the contributor sets it up, grooming and hair care and shaves, etc., just because of the fact that these people have served their military and served their country. And I thought, oh my God, this is a wonderful outreach program that will show veterans that people really do care, and people are willing to do more than just say thank you for serving. This young lady's actually reaching out and trying to do something substantial and do something substantive to help veterans, and it's just wonderful. When I sat in her chair and had my grooming going on, it sounds silly, but I felt like I was home. She talked to me in ways that an unconnected civilian normally cannot. Because of her family military background, she has this understanding of how a military person's mind works, be it active duty or retired, or someone like me who just went in and did their duty and got out and paid an emotional price for it. And sounds silly, but she's actually helping me heal just by being there and talking to me. And this idea of hers to provide sponsorship programs for veterans it sounds like a wonderful idea. I think if people got behind her, I think it could turn into a nationwide campaign, and I really think she has hopes that it would too, because there's a lot of unsung heroes out there, and there's just a lot of unsung regular guys who did their duty without question and without complaint, and loved their country while they were doing it, and when it was over with, they were just I'm not going to say something stupid like thrown back on the streets, but they found themselves back on the streets of the world, as we called it when we were over there, without recognition for what they had done for their country, or the love that they felt for their country and for their Constitution and for what our flag stands for. This is a young lady that wants to bring that recognition to light and give it directly to the veterans with care and love and understanding. And I promise you, every veteran who sits in her chair is going to come out of that room feeling exactly like I felt. Wow. I feel special. This lady made me feel special. Again, because she gets it. I urge anyone who watches this video and reads about this program that this young lady's trying to set up, it's real, and it's honest, and it's fabulous and wonderful. Get involved with this one. This one is the real thing. Veterans need emotional support. They need emotional caring, and a lot of them haven't gotten it. And that kind of support goes a long way to healing the hurt and the insecurity with having been involved in maybe an unpopular conflict, or being scorned because some people, especially of certain political persuasions, cannot find it in their hearts to care about the military mission and the noble cause that these young men and women serve as they're serving their country. So I would like to appeal to all of you, a veteran to people who care. Find it in your heart to help this young lady out, because she has got a wonderful thing going here. And I can just see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of veterans finding a friend in this woman's barber chair and coming out of it feeling just absolutely fabulous. It's wonderful. It's almost like a new lease on life to talk to someone who really has looked at the problem and has talked to people and understands and can relate. And this girl can really relate. If you like veterans causes, this is a good one. She's wanting to get vets sponsored for grooming needs at no or low cost to them, depending on how the contributor wants to set it up. It's easy. Make this work. It worked for me. I'd like to see it work for thousands and thousands more. Get on this bandwagon if you care. This lady is wonderful and has a wonderful idea. She proposes to call her veterans effort Sleek Beauty and Barber. And if I got that wrong, pardon me for slaughtering it, but I think that's what it's called, Sleek. Maybe Barber and Beauty. But either way, it's sleek. And believe me, it is sleek. And she is sleek. And she's tough. And she's soft in her heart at the same time. And she's understanding. And she has the power to make veterans feel wonderful again. It happened to me, and I want it to happen to all of my fellow veterans. It's just a wonderful thing. So if you care, and if you want to help veterans in a way that hasn't been done before, to make them feel special and needed and loved and understood, give Sleek a look. It's going to be special. I can just feel it. And I think it's going to be big. I really do. Because as veterans get a hold of this, the word's going to get around. I'm doing all I can to get the word around. That's why I volunteered to do this video. Because it's wonderful, and I don't endorse things that I don't believe in and that don't work. This one's real, people. This one's real. All she needs is backers. and it will go a long way. This one will be heard from. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you'll consider giving Sleek a look and participate. It'll do you good, and it'll do the veterans a world of good. Believe me, I've been there and I've done it. It's special. This one's really special. Thank you very much.